Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here to talk to you about MiddleEarthAthon, which is a readathon run between the 26th of August to the 2nd of September to celebrate Rings of Power. And today I'm going bad with my Mount Doom Mordor t-shirt because it is the Witch King prompts turn. Now for this I have picked Morgul Blade, a book with a weapon on the cover, because I thought this would be the easiest, and I was right. So the first book I am going to recommend, no surprise to anyone, is Horseman by Christina Henry. Now this has a scythe, and I think it's a scythe anyway, but I thought this was perfect. It's very short, well, it's not very short, but it is short, and it's a Sleepy Hollow retelling with a main character named Ben, who is very resourceful. I love them a lot, and this is one of my favourite reads of this year. This might be my favourite Christina Henry yet, which is saying something. But it's not like a true Sleepy Hollow retelling. There are references to Sleepy Hollow and Ichabod Crane, so I think if you like Sleepy Hollow, you'll probably enjoy this. I love the Sleepy Hollow film. I haven't read the book, so I can't say anything about the book really, but I very much enjoy this book, and Christina Henry does a great job of some of the representation in here, but it's set in the past, and it's supernatural, it's paranormal, it's fabulous. So if you haven't picked up a Christina Henry yet, can I interest you in Horseman? Maybe. Next book I am going to recommend with a weapon on the cover is Year of the Reaper by Mackay Lucia. This obviously has a mace on the cover, and this was a real surprise for me because this was a fairy book that we got back in December 2021, and I'd seen many kind of mixed things about Year of the Reaper, and then the Danish readaholic read this and I was really surprised because she was saying how much she was enjoying it, so then that gave me the push to pick it up. So this follows Lord from a kingdom called Lord Cassia, who has been imprisoned by like a warring neighbouring country, and his journey home, and there's like a whole thing where the princess from the neighbouring warring country is actually marrying their king, so it's like a merging of the two kingdoms. But also there's also a plague going around, and everyone assumed Cassia was dead because he never returned, and like he does some heroic things and he gets in front of the princess who's now the queen. It's a load of stuff that goes on essentially, but I really enjoyed this book. I liked Lord Cassia, I liked the romance, I love the twists and turns. I really enjoyed all of it. It's a good time. So, and it's got a mace on it, and it's relatively short, so winning. The next book I'm going to recommend is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Now this is a series, there's 4 books in the series, and it follows Leia and Elias. And Leia is what they call a scholar, and Elias is like one of the marshals. Yes, he's one of the marshals, and it follows them both on this like journey of self-discovery, and how being different is also a way of coming together. And there's Jin in this series, which is really exciting, but this has got a sword type thing on the cover, and I really enjoyed this book a lot, and there's loads of twists and turns in this story. The second book didn't make me cry, but I really enjoyed the whole thing, although Leia and Elias are terrible and they deserve each other, is all I can say, because they're both stupid and they do stupid things. But it's YA fantasy, so what were we expecting really? Next up, I mean, this is a recommendation, but I'm not sure, well, you could try it if you were feeling confident. But I am recommending The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. There are loads of weapons on this cover, but it is very chunky. It's over 1,000 pages, but you could just, read part 1 first for the readathon. I'm not sure it's the most sensible recommendation, but I really like Brandon Sanderson's writing, and there's loads of weapons on the cover, and this is a political warfare book, and I really enjoyed it, so that's why I'm recommending it. Then the last recommendation is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This has a dagger in it on the cover, and I really enjoyed These Violent Delights. It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but it's not so... It's recognisable as Romeo and Juliet, but it's not just Romeo and Juliet copied and pasted, if you get my meaning. It is very much its own thing, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that it was just very clever. I like Chloe Gong's writing. I really enjoyed the sequel as well, Our Violent Ends. So as a duology, they're really fantastic. But the paranormal subplot that's in this one doesn't really continue in the second one. And I think that's what I like. This is in 1920 Shanghai, and it follows two rival gangs, one Chinese and the other Russian, I believe. A lot of things happen in 1920 in Shanghai, but it follows like this illness that is going around and people are dying randomly, and there's like a virus, and it's just how Roma and Juliet, how they both come together, and it's just so fucking good. Like, I can't recommend this enough. It's urban fantasy retelling. We love that. Now for the two books that I'm thinking about picking up for this is The Blood Trials by N.E. Davenport, and this was a Luna Book Club pick. This is YA fantasy, and there is a sword. She's holding a sword, but it sounds right up my street. So, it's all about blood. Blood spilled long ago between the Republic of Marine and the armies of the Blood Emperor. Now there is a peace in the Republic where blood magic is banned. But there is also a strict class system, misogyny and racism. Her world is not perfect, but Ikenna served in it until now. With the murder of her grandfather, Ikenna spirals out of control. Though she is an initiate for the Republic's deadly elite military force, Ikenna has a secret only her grandfather knew. She possesses the blood magic of the Republic's enemies. Ikenna throws herself into the gladiatorial war games at the heart of her martial world. Trials that will lead her closer to his killers. Under the spotlight, she subjects herself to abuse from a society that does not value her, that cherishes lineage over talent, all while holding gifts if revealed, would lead to an execution or worse. Ikenna is willing to risk it all to find out who killed her grandfather so she can end them. So, trial by combat, blood magic. Two things that I am very interested in. It is quite a chunk though, so we'll see. Also, a contender is There Will Be a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. That is a sword, and I've had this one for a while actually. There's loads of dust attached to it, so you know that it's been on my shelf for a good long while. So, the Age of Darkness approaches. 5 lives stand in its way. For generations, the 7 prophets guided humanity until they disappeared 100 years ago. They left behind one final secret prophecy foretelling an age of darkness and the birth of a new prophet who could be the world's salvation, or the cause of its destruction. As the dark new power rises, 5 soldiers set out on a collision course that would determine the fate of the world. A ruthless killer known as the Pale Hand, an exiled prince, a leader torn between his duty and his heart, a gambler with the power to find anything, and a dying girl on the verge of giving up. So, that sounds pretty fun, I think. I'm pretty sure it sounds fun. But, we will see. So it's either There Will Come a Darkness or Blood Trials. Either or. So, those are my recommendations. Let me know if you've read any of them, which one you think I should read, and yeah, join us for the readathon, let me know. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please think about doing so, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks guys, bye!